Craig here with another honest review. Sorry it's been a while since my last review, but as you know, during the pandemic, time just kind of goes by pretty quickly here. Today we are going to review the P3 Mole Chaser 7900. Let me explain what that is. We moved into this house several years ago, and when we did, the previous owners had actually had a dog, and that dog had kept moles at bay across our grass pretty well. Moles don't like to have animals run around, and that dog would probably bark every time a mole poked its head out. However, we don't have dogs, and the second that dog left, the mole just had a field day. And of course, as you know, moles, they always pick the best part of your grass to dig or to pop up out of the ground and create molehills. Was completely ruining our grass. We tried the poison worm situation. We looked at getting pest control out here, which that's a whole mess because there's certain rules and regulations due to animal cruelty of what you can actually do to a mole in Washington State, which is where I live. So I decided to try one of those mole sonic devices. However, I didn't want to go with the cheap one. I didn't go with kind of the Home Depot style solar paneled ones. I did some research and I found some people who had really good success with the P3 Mole Chaser 7900. Now there's kind of two different devices you can get. You can get one that makes more of a vibrating sound, and you can get one that kind of makes more of a high-pitched sound. So there's kind of the sonic one, I think, and there's kind of the vibrating one. The 7900 is the sonic one for whatever value that has for you guys out there. I threw it in the ground. They tell you to bury it flush. Here's what it looks like. It's just a little bit of a giant metal ground dildo, if that's what you want to call it. And it uses batteries, uses D batteries, and the D batteries tend to last about a year. I just pulled this out of the ground today because the batteries are dying. I noticed the molehill coming up out of the ground. But putting this in the ground actually completely saved our grass. I'm still to this day flabbergasted that this stupid thing works because I've seen people try the cheap ones and they don't work and the moles keep coming up. This thing works so well. It's one of the reasons I kind of started this review channel because I was giving reviews of this P3 thing out to family, to friends, you name it, of just like, hey, this thing actually works. It sounds stupid. It costs $30, but dang it, it works. There's not much to it. There's a plastic kind of tip at the end, creates a little bit of a pointy area for it to go in the dirt. I did use a metal rod to kind of make a hole big enough to push it in as opposed to trying to hammer it in. But it seems sturdy enough that you could really step on it and hammer it in if need be. The body of it is aluminum, so it doesn't corrode, and you have a plastic screw top at the top. And this is where you can replace the batteries. And really the whole tray comes out. So this is the extent of what makes a mole chaser a mole chaser. The rest of it's just an aluminum tube. You got 4D batteries in series, lasts about a year. And the magic happens on this end. P3 makes two different types. They make one that is more of a vibrating one, has a bit of a motor in it. It spins the motor, it has a counterweight, and that makes kind of a vibration noise in the ground. And then they have this one, which actually has a sonic emitter. So a little speaker makes a buzzing sound. When you actually put the battery in, you can kind of hear the sound. I'll see if I can capture it. If so, I'll put it here. And basically that sonic emitter pisses off moles. Maybe it's some sort of mole-based boy band music or something, but either way, it ticks them off enough that they just don't want to be around. And it worked great for my moles. And I don't have just one mole that doesn't like boy band music. I mean, I'm sure it's a family of moles. They obviously have eaten or dug through a lot of other areas in my yard, but this is the only grass area I really cared about. So that's it. You replace the batteries once a year, shove this sucker in the ground, and say goodbye to your moles.